This is Sybert signing in to Red Alert 3 on the map Infinity Isle on the left side as the Purple Soviets. This is Harlen, who is, I guess, smurfing as Amaranth or something. On the right side as the Orange Empire. This is Dimon, an SVE featuring Dimon, kind of off-racing as Empire. Apparently, he plays quite a bit of Empire, and, you know, his main race may still be Soviets, but he's pretty darn good with Empire as well, as it turns out. And definitely, if you've seen him in some of those games where he's played Empire, you know that he has what it takes to go the distance with the Imperial faction. Infinity Isle, something that we have seen a ton in the past, but haven't actually casted that many games on it since I've been back. So it's kind of nice to see something classic on Infinity Isle. And for those of you who don't like watching allies play, got some lovely Soviet versus allies action. I know there's a couple of replays people have been sending to my email, and they were not good. Last night I think I casted 5 games, and I'm keeping, I think, none of them. So went back to the replay tab and looked up some classic games. I believe this one is from 2019. We're going to take a look at some slightly older games that are goodies that I missed. So we'll be taking a look at that lovely load up of that flak trooper to save it into the bullfrog, and then trying to run defense, but unfortunately not able to, as those Imperial warriors get the slice through that flak trooper. This sickle going to be able to clean up the rest of the Imperial warriors, and Dimon doing what he can to cause havoc among the ranks of Harlen. And for now, Harlen has kind of secured himself. He does have this stuff to kill, which is annoying, but it's not a big deal. In this case, he went for the super reactor first, so War Factory super reactor off of 2 refineries. And of course, once he clears all of this stuff up, I'm assuming he's going to get himself a 3rd refinery. My gosh, this is so many walls that Dimon has built. Reminds me of Eminence's wall swag build. In this particular case, the walls are on the wrong side of the map instead of being over here. Single mecha bay and dual refineries for Dimon. I'm assuming he's going to be expanding up to the north, or to the high ground rather, technically south from where his MCV is, but his MCV now on the move. So we're looking pretty standard from here on out, I would assume, now that things have kind of stabilized. With this very wonky opening that we're seeing, we've got some classic harassment. Harvesters have been pulled off the line. They've got that adaptive armor. They are going to be safe for now. And a little sickle harass as well. So classic Tengus versus sickles. The two, like, you know, you can wall in your harvester, which protects against some things, but everybody's got an option to get over those walls, whether it's Vindicators or Sickles or Tengus. You all have something. Oh, buddy. Oh, buddy. Dimon busting out those center walls. I don't know that it's going to be Eminence's wall swag build, which I believe was a fast 3 refineries, and then you basically use the walls to buy yourself time because you're at kind of a disadvantage when you go the 3 refineries too quickly, especially in a 1v1 if the other player identifies that and then makes good use of it. You can be in trouble. But we do have extra wall segments going to be going up, and Harlen going to be forced to pull his units in close so that they can try and stop extra walls from being built, and now this hammer tank, I guess, will end up going down. It would have actually been better to just turn around and shoot those tsunami tanks. At the very least, you might force one of them to have to go back for repairs, but hammer tank does go down. Tsunami tank's going to be pushing on through, and for now, Dimon's walls have almost been cleaned up, but of course the ones that matter are around, or where that refinery goes. Airfield does get canceled there, as these tsunami tanks going to be forcing the MCV to pack up, and they're going to be going for a little bit of harass here, taking a little bit of damage from this Civ structure. The Tengu does go down, and these hammer tanks should be able to finish off the weakened tsunami tank and then the little bit higher health tsunami tank, but they're going to leech. Going to be able to leech down that wall as well, just to make sure that he is on full health. And these tsunami tanks, I assume, won't be able to escape with the terror drone there, locking them down. Decent micro coming out from Harlen. He's been on top of that Terror Drone micro just to make sure that nothing can escape if not necessary. Losing a Harvester during this time would be a bit of a mistake, and you definitely don't want to be giving away any Harvesters if you don't have to, and actually the Honorable Discharge may or may not get it. I think with the reactive armor he will have enough health to survive that, but it's going to be close either way, and it actually is enough. So even with the armor buff, or armor boost rather, not that it was buffed in like a patch or something, but even with the armor boost, the Honorable Discharge is enough to kill that Harvester. So losing the Tsunami tanks definitely sucks, but Dimon finding ways to try and get a little bit of an edge back, and of course always making sure that he can trade as efficiently as possible. Terror Drone going to be checking that water refinery, nothing there, and of course, I assume if Dimon sends out for a water refinery, he knows how to play Soviets, so he's going to defend that guy. He's going to make sure he's got a naval yard there as well. And for now, little water refinery going to be going up for Harlen. He's looking to get himself 4 expansions, and of course the oil derricks do still land for both of these guys. They are still operational for both of these guys. And oh, I forgot to mention at the very beginning, I know, so this video, if you didn't notice, it's all the way in 4K. I'm going to record and produce it in 4K, or, 3840 by 2160, not technically 4K. But I know the mini-map bothers some people the way the icons get shrunk down at the higher resolutions, so I am genuinely curious if that bothers you. Do you watch full screen, and do you watch on like a 22-inch monitor, or, something bigger, or are you watching on your phone? Because I'm trying to gauge what the trade-offs are here. This is a lot of Tengus going to be going for that harass, and I mean, a couple of them could probably escape at this point, but they're just kind of hanging out, not doing a whole lot. There's the transform and the escape out for some of those Tengus, but he ended up losing quite a few Tengus in that attack. Harvester still standing strong. That Twin Blade not going to be able to get the kill at the current moment, and the Twin Blade does go down. One of these Tengus, nope, not quite in range of those Bullfrogs. And one Harvester down. It looks like the other one is already back up and running if it ended up going down, but back up to those 3 refineries soon enough will be Dimon, while Harlen, on the other hand, dropping a Tesla coil to keep one of his Harvesters safe. And then I assume he's got this guy, yeah, back up and running as well. So it's 4 refineries. It's going to be versus the 3. And, of course, the oil derrick's still chugging away for both of these guys. But I assume those are going to be targets in the next couple of moments. Free damage against these Tengus from those Bullfrogs. And with this hammer tank here, these Tengus are not going to have an easy, clear victory against that Harvester. There goes one of the... Well, the Chopper VXs do get the transform. They actually get the MiG as well, so they get the oil derrick plus a MiG, and they might snag a hammer tank as well. Good thing that Harlen didn't try to actually commit to that attack, and it looks like this Chopper VX is going down, but he takes the hammer tank with him, so nicely done by Dimon. Good management there, and this Harvester will escape for now. Going to be giving away some point defense drones, but as long as the Tengus escape, he is good to go. Lots and lots of walls in the middle of the map. It looks like a Bullfrog trying to drop a conscript or something. Didn't quite work out. MiG in the north. Once again, guarding the skies. Now that airfield has been up for a little while. MCV back on the move. So we'll have to see how much Harlen decides to go for just sticking with his ground army and air army. That kind of combo. Or if he ends up deciding to go for any kind of naval transition. Maybe he just wants some V4s to try and break the back of the Empire. And, occasionally on this map we do see dreadnoughts. The hope is alive. MiGs and Tengus trading out against each other, as you guys just saw. And these Tengus have actually retransformed, so they're going to trade out against the MiGs a little bit there. And the MiGs not in good enough numbers to take on the Tengus. If they would have stacked up, maybe things would have been different. But those point defense drones doing a good job for those Tengus. It's going to be a Tier 2 Mecha Bay, but the Naval Yard is on the way with that 4th refinery from Dimon. So this Terror Drone is not really going to have a whole lot of luck, and Dimon is actually going to spot it. Will he spot it soon enough to get the transform? The answer is yes. He gets the transform. He gets the kill. Nicely done there by Dimon. That kind of stuff is the stuff that the good players do that lesser players like myself never remember to do. We just don't have the extra actions. I say that as he's potentially going to be losing. Nope, he doesn't lose the tank buster, so that's good. Gets the kill with the other tank buster. But I just don't have the actual awareness in the game to be able to accurately spot stuff like that, so I end up losing lots of stuff to terror drones, unlike Dimon, who's on top of it. It's going to be a naval yard down on the low ground, or on the low water, if you will, with a 5th refinery going to be on the way shortly after that, I can only assume, from Harlen. And for now, he has stuck with just that Tier 2 ground army. No battle lab just yet. And I guess, 5 refineries with that war factory can be a pretty good thing. 1 Yari mini-sub, and it looks like a second one is going to be joining it. So this naval yard is not necessarily long for this world if those 2 or 3 Yari mini-subs end up suiciding on it. Twin Blade's going to be pulling in. They fire off at the oil derrick, but they don't actually get the kill. Hammer tanks have a lot of walls to work through, and no actual Stingray or anything going to be popping out here, so I don't even know if these Yaris are going to have to both suicide on this. Could just be one of them ends up suiciding. It is going to be an Akula sub, but lots of Tengus here for, I don't know if they're actually going to try and take on this Akula sub, but they could definitely get the kill on the naval yard. There goes the oil derrick, gets sniped, and for now, Dimon is going to have to do something about this Akula going after his expansion. He is going to be able to get the naval yard, which is nice for him. It's going to stop that ore refinery from being as protected, make it a little bit more exposed, and I guess he's going to be heading over there with some choppers. Harvester does get sniped. So these two guys, they are big believers in the harassment. They are big believers in trying to pick your enemy apart bit by bit. Twin Blades rushing in and out for those single Harvester kills before trying to escape away before the VXs get them. The Harvester runs all the way on to land. It looks like Dimon might be a little bit strapped for cash there, as his Tengu's going to be going in for a potential big transform and harassment themselves. So cutting off the economy, both of these guys looking to do what they can with their limited units around the edges of the map. No one wants to commit to a big gunfight in the middle. Instead, committing to a big gunfight in your opponent's main base is what Dimon is doing. Not even going for the Harvester, instead going for a big transform to catch the Bullfrogs, and now he should be able to transform on out of there. He's going to go for the Twin Blades, gets a couple of them. He doesn't mind trading out against some of these Bullfrogs, but I don't know if he wants to trade out his entire army against these Bullfrogs. I don't know if that ended up being cost-effective. He got the MiGs, he got a lot of the Twin Blades, and I guess the Chopper VXs pick up a Hammer Tank, so actually if the Chopper VXs can keep the rest of the army at bay, then that will be all right. Battle Lab is up and rocking, which means Dreadnoughts are a potential, V4s are a potential, even APOC tanks are a potential. Going to be dropping some reactor, dropping a barracks, and dropping what was probably like a Tesla coil. Ended up getting canceled there, as that Tengu does go down. Tango down, I guess, would be the term there, but this naval yard is not long for this world, and it looks like that Akula sub or whatever was building will not actually finish. A little bit strapped for cash is Harlen. Not enough money to get that out in time. Had to cancel the reactor, it looks like. These Hammer Tanks still trying to bust down that wall. It looks like the Tengus may be able to, no, it's just one Tengu, 2 Tengus, going to be here to try and catch these Twin Blades, but they will be protected by the Bullfrogs from Harlen. And these two guys just poking and prodding every little bit that they can. And I mean, some of these naval yards, I assume, have been canceled when they get attacked building in the middle. But some of them have also finished. So this is a lot of money that have just been invested in naval yards. And another one shut down before it can actually finish constructing. These 2 tank busters have been there for so long. The answer is V4s, trying to shut down that con yard. Yeah, walls can be great, but you know what's better than walls? Something that just shoots over the walls and you don't even have to deal with them. Rebuilding on Tengus and VXs is Dimon's choice. Pumping out more and more Tengus from his Mecha Bay. And he's going to be coming in. He's going to be threatening the MCV of his opponent while Tengus chase down the Bullfrogs and try and keep them away. The MiG doesn't care. The MiG is like, who cares if my MCV ends up getting destroyed? I'm going to go ahead and die, as well as the nice transform there on those Strikers. Going to be turning them into that anti-air mode and dealing with the MiG quite easily. These last couple of choppers need to get on out of there. It looks like the penalty will be 1 Chopper VX on the ground, and the other one should be able to escape on out. But that is that for that chopper. And somewhere Oh, the crane's actually next to the airfield, so I was like, there's a crane somewhere on the map. I didn't actually see where it was initially, but trying to trade MCV for MCV. Will the engineer pop out in time? It looks like the answer for now is yes, but Dimon is close by, or Harlen is close by, and Dimon is going to have to try and keep that V4 from firing like one more rocket. I assume an engineer is going to be popping out for Dimon to be able to get the full health on that MCV. He's got another dojo, so one more rocket. Not enough to kill the MCV. It has got just a smidgen of health, and the hammer tanks do not get there in time. That's going to be the backup from Harlen as he is looking to fight another day. More walls going to be going up from Dimon. He is truly trying to become the king of walls. Quick check-in. It looks like he's got those 4 refineries up and running. The 5th refinery never did land for Harlen, so he also has been hanging out on those 4 refineries. Of course, Oil Derricks got eliminated quite a while ago, but even economic footing, and fortunately for Harlen, no sneaky Chopper VXs, like 1 or 2, have been snuck around to the south side of the map to do a bit of damage to this refinery. Of course, Tesla coil is great, but you know what's better than a Tesla coil? Something that can shoot a Tesla coil without being shot by a Tesla coil. More V4 rockets going to be smashing into that MCV as these hammer tanks, one of them fully heroic, going to be working away at the wall. It looks like the Bear's going to be rushing on forward, getting the lockdown on pretty much all of those tank busters. One does still remain awake, but the Bullfrogs are going to be trying to deal with the Chopper VXs as they go for the transform on the Kirov. That's their new target, while the Twin Blades try to clear the ground out, and this one single Kirov won't have enough strength if he can't be defended by his friends. For now, the Tengus are going to transform while the Chopper VXs are trying to do what damage they can on the very fringes of their range. They want to stay away from the support of those Bullfrogs, and this APOC tank can't help his buddy out. The Tier 3 of the Soviets, not enough support to actually let them do what they do best, which would be, you know, flattening that entire base in like 8 seconds if V4, the Kirov, and the APOC actually were down there hitting them. But in this case, the V4 continuing to put some pressure on this MCV, maybe even a couple of latent shots over at these army units. But for now, the V4 is not getting a lot of value ever since that MCV got healed up. Dimon's been doing a better job of avoiding the damage from that V4. Looks like one Mecha Tengu will lose his drones there, and a big transform means that this V4 rocket whiffs completely. Final Squadron going to be coming in, pushing this Soviet army back, and they won't actually impact anything, but they have separated the Soviet army a little bit here. MiGs in the north going to be having to turn away from this Tengu swarm, and the Chopper VXs are definitely vulnerable over the water, but they've got their Tengu buddies there to defend, and this could be an opportunity. If Dimon realizes that he can split the army up like this, then he may be able to take a little bit of advantage of splitting the army up intentionally while moving in with a big infantry swarm or something like that. For now, his attack has been thwarted. He let his Tengus get a little bit too far ahead, and now the choppers are caught completely out in the open by Bullfrogs, and even the MiGs getting in on the action. Every single Chopper VX caught out in the open there. Good positioning by Harlen, able to split that army up, not allowing the Tengus to get the defense that the Chopper VXs needed, and the Chopper VXs were never able to make landfall to try and escape either enemy. In this particular case, just going for the harass, but he just lost like 7,000 or 8,000 credits worth of Chopper VXs, so that sucks for Dimon. He's going to be going for the crane. He knows that this is a valuable piece of tech, and I mean, as long as the War Factory is here, hope still springs eternal, and as long as the refineries don't go down, then the crane isn't as essential, but this is step 1 to breaking the back of Harlen. If your Tengus are going to go down, use their exploding corpses as a method of destroying this building. There's going to be, I assume, the escape away from there as the crane is eliminated. Out here on the water, also a naval yard has been built, so 2 opportunities to rebuild that MCV. Could keep pumping out hammer tanks or whatever from the War Factory while the naval yard does the dirty work of creating that MCV. Harvester's still alive there, Harvester's still alive there, Harvester's still alive out on the water, and number 4 is up and running. So for Harlen, that is not as bad as it could have been. He lost his crane, sure. That's very annoying. His economy is still up and rolling. He's got his tech. He's got his war factory. He's got his airfield. His production facilities are all good to go. So, yeah, no fresh static D, but that is not the biggest deal in this situation. Big infantry swarm going to be trying to protect that MCV. It's not going to be enough as the V4s fire off another round of rockets, claiming that MCV as their prize. And this APOC tank is just getting a little bit of damage there, a little bit close to death. But for now, he will escape at the current moment. And lots of Tengus going for the repairs. This Akula sub has been spotted, it looks like, by these Yaris, but 2 more Akulas in the south going to be looking to cut off this water expansion now that the MCV is down. Rebuilding those expansions is going to be a much more difficult task for Dimon. Big transform of the Tengus. They're here to support the tank busters and the Imperial Warriors. They're here to get on top of these slow Soviet units. They're here to just try and end this. They've gotten 1 APOC tank, and the rest of this army can be dealt with this many tank busters, but a lot of it does come down to the crushes. If the hammer tanks are able to get on top of the tank busters, if they're able to get on top of the Imperial Warriors, then this will be a quick and dirty fight. But the tank busters are going to be able to do some damage. Oh, the Tengu's going to be forced to pull back, which means the Twin Blades can do a little bit of damage there, and really that split of those rockets from the V4s doing some big damage. It looks like probably Toxin's going to be coming in. No, it's going to be satellites on top of this army, and the infantry, are they going to be too slow? The MiGs getting taken out there, not able to totally clear the skies. Yes, they are able to totally clear the skies, which means Dimon's army will be pulled to pieces. And that will do it. Dimon losing his army there, and Harlen, aka Amaranth, is going to be the victor of this game. One big army movement from Dimon, and he wasn't able to make it happen after losing that MCV. His cards were on the table. His hand was forced, and that will do it for this game. I hope you guys enjoyed this Soviet versus Empire action. Thank you all very much for watching, and this is Sybert signing out.